Web3 marketing at its foundation incredibly different than Web2 marketing. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you why is it a lot harder for a lot of founders to build, launch, and market their Web3 products. And finally, at the end of this video, I'm going to be sharing with you how can you unstuck yourself and actually use one of the hacks and shortcuts that I have and I've seen work like magic so you can propel your brand and have an easier time at marketing yourself in Web3. Just this Thursday, I was at an event by one of our partners that we work with, Alphabot. If you've been in the NFT space and have used Discord, you've probably interacted with Alphabot at least once in your career in Web3. So with Alphabot, they did an event here in Dubai and went there. And one of the guys that came up to me, a big fan of the YouTube channel, big consumer of the content, really love what we do here. He came to me and he started to, with full of excitement, started to explain to me his ecosystem, what he was intending to build. Such passionate. But then he was like, but Leon, with everything I shared with you, man, I honestly have no idea how to bring this out on the market. I have no idea how to do this. I've tried. Nothing has been working. Man, it is super hard to build here in Web3. It almost feels like the only way for you to succeed is to become part of the cabal and to have all the cabal members bought into your ecosystem. And I was listening to him, and in truth, a lot of the things he said were correct. At its core, Web3 marketing is a lot different than what is it most builders are used to in Web2 marketing. You see, what I tried to explain to him, and upon further thinking on this and in preparation to this video, what really differentiates Web2 and Web3 is that in Web2, you're selling the product to people. I buy this pen on the internet. I'm expecting to receive this pen functional and that's it. Nothing more, nothing less. In Web3, however, this is where it gets different. In Web3, you're not selling the product that you have. You're selling your ecosystem. You're selling your tokenized network. Whether you have a token that is fungible or an non-fungible token like an NFT, what people are buying into is not access to your specific product. They're buying access to the network that you have to build, and they are betting on the network. And this is the beauty of Web3. It all of a sudden created a new layer of consumer engagement, a new layer of incentive, and for us to really make the most out of it. And at its core, selling a product versus selling your network are foundationally different. The rules of the game are different. The dynamic that you have with your consumers is incredibly different. You see, the thing about token is that people aren't buying into the present state of your ecosystem. They're buying into what this ecosystem has the potential to become. And that delta on where people decide to buy into your ecosystem and where it has to become the potential to go is where the value of Web3 comes from. People who were mining and holding Ethereum since 2017 have been greatly rewarded for the success of Ethereum. And that is how ecosystems have the ability to incentivize early participants within the network. So Vitalik never really sold Ethereum as, hey, buy this, it'll unlock you access to that specific thing. No. By owning Ethereum, you own access to the entirety of all the applications, all the things that are going to be built on Ethereum, and you're betting on the future of Ethereum as an ecosystem. And this is where in Web2, how this typical marketing framework functions is you're identifying the problem that your prospects have, you're painting the picture of how their life has been affected by that problem, and then you inject your product or your solution within that. In Web3, it's very different. You're selling to an investor type of persona who is betting on you with their money, not that other ecosystem that they can be parking their money in. And this is where the framework that we have, which we've spoken about quite a lot on this channel, which is the V.E.T framework. Selling the V.E.T is how we have the ability to all of a sudden sell to that more investor, rational yet emotional side of people's brain. V.E.T, vision, execution, and team. I'll give you a great example. Abstract chain right now is the main point of conversation. If there's one of the most anticipated products or chains launching in Web3 anytime soon, Abstract is one of them. If we are to break down the V.E.T of Abstract, who by the way are partners of ours who we work with on community building activations on Twitter Spaces, the vision for them is building the consumer blockchain. The execution How they intend on doing it, the specifics is wallet abstraction. So being able to interact with the blockchain without having to have the seed phrase in the wallet and the gas fees and all of that. They take that away. And then the team, we all know who is behind Abstract Chain. It is the Pudgy Penguin, it is Luca Nets, it is a lot of other world-class devs that are behind the token and very well known. So all of a sudden, as a consumer, you look at this and you're like, all right, that vision, I can stand behind this. I think the world needs a consumer chain. The execution, I can understand how account abstraction, if you guys can pull it off, is going to be a net positive for the Web3 space. And then finally, the team, obviously, Luca Nets, incredibly established, has a reputation in the NFT space, has the background to be able to bring that vision to life. So when you've combined these three together, all of a sudden, you get a phenomenon like Abstract Chain. Now, going back to the example of the person I was speaking with, that person was still in the early stages of being a founder. His game that he was building was still in early development stages. He had some mock-ups, but it wasn't fully fledged. He was still trying to build his personal brand, has been struggling in the process. And in a byproduct, when you are to look at the V.E.T framework, it all of a sudden makes betting on his ecosystem a lot less appealing versus betting on brands like Abstract, other brands that have a more established V.E.T framework. And this is where it gets difficult, because in truth, for you to be able to build in Web3, just like that founder that I was speaking with that night at that event, he is correct to some extent. The reason why it seems like most of the time you need to be in the cabal or connected to the cabal is because these people, through time, work, effort, have built their reputation and have built their brand in the space. They've built the T or the E part of the equation, vision, execution, and team. They are somewhat respected and trusted. We've seen projects launch entirely off a team that is just well known. E, maybe a lot of them have built products, media businesses. This is not their first rodeo. They know what they're up to. So now they have the ability to bring the attention of Web3 and sell to them what is it they're building. And the truth being, yes, Web3 marketing is a lot harder than it is in Web2, because all of a sudden you have that layer where people, just like investors, when they ask, the first thing they ask a founding team, who the hell are you guys? What have you done? People are going to ask themselves the same thing. Who the hell are you? What have you done? How can I trust you that my money is going to be best spent with you? And what we need to do as founders is show them that. And the way we do that is by building out our personal brands, by building our portfolio of achievement, by positioning ourselves close to the other highly established, trusted figures in the Web3 space. I myself, you guys have seen me through my entire journey. 3 years ago, June 2021, when I started this YouTube channel, I was still trying to get my footing in Web3. Perhaps I had some experience back in Web2 marketing and I was trying to bring that into Web3, but I had to start from zero. And today, perhaps a big reason why a lot of people come to me and seek my knowledge, seek my expertise, my team and I have the ability to be part of these circles, work with the top projects, is because we've built our brand, we've built our reputation. People who know who we are and they're willing to bet on us as a team. And that is exactly what consumers think about when they look at the project that you present to them. Is this even worth my attention? So the question now becomes, how do we make this worth people's attention? And one thing we're seeing right now, especially as the market is heating up, is we're seeing a lot more brands and teams come out of nowhere because of something that I call marketing efficiency. So you can have the best V.E.T ever. You can be the most established founder, best execution. But if marketing efficiency is not in your favor, you're going to have a harder time at launching your project. So marketing efficiency is the ease at which you have the ability to penetrate the market, put your message in front of people, and have these people resonate with you. Going back to the example of Abstract. So Abstract Chain right now, it's a blockchain. And one thing they're doing is right now they're onboarding a lot of projects to build on Abstract Chain. And because Abstract in and of itself has a lot of attention, I've noticed that. We currently work with 2 Abstract projects. The moment you build on Abstract is the moment you get a much easier job at gaining people's attention and all of a sudden having their buy-in into your project. This is an example of marketing efficiency. Marketing efficiency is made up of 2 variables, narrative and your chain. So is the narrative that you're building in, is it hot? Do people care about that? The chain, is there currently an overflow of attention and liquidity on the chain you're trying to build in. We've seen this with Solana during the meme coin frenzy. There was a lot of attention and liquidity circulating around Solana. So even if you were not necessarily launching a meme coin, but you were launching a Solana product or a DEX or a marketplace, all of a sudden you had a much easier time attracting and retaining attention. And right now, this is what we're seeing a lot happen. For example, NFTs on ETH are heating up. Projects building on Abstract are hot. Eventually, ordinal collections are going to heat up again. So building on the right chain all of a sudden allows you to increase your marketing efficiency. Now, narrative. Obviously, what is currently hot in the marketplace? And this is something we talk about a lot on this YouTube channel. Positioning yourself in a narrative and becoming the advocate and crusader of that narrative is how you have the ability to unlock overnight success. We've seen the builders who have been building in the meme coin trenches, in the RWA trenches, in the metaverse trenches. When the attention flocks to one of these narratives, the many hundreds of narratives that exist in Web3, the fact that you've positioned yourself in one of those is all of a sudden going to allow you to rise to the occasion. Blowing winds push all sailboats forward, and that's what you want to do. So all of a sudden, betting on a narrative that is heating up and building on a chain that is heating up, when you combine these two, you're all of a sudden going to have a much easier time at breaking the cold start problem that comes with the V.E.T. I'll give you an example. One of the projects that I consult on, which I'm not going to be naming, these guys have been building in the NFT space for over 2.5 years. They haven't launched yet. However, one thing the founder has been doing is he's been building his personal brand, building his connections, building his name. He now has a strong pool of supporters. People who know who he is, know what they're building, are bought into the actual product. Well, guess what is happening currently with them? Number one, NFTs are heating up. Number two, they're building on Abstract. So guess how's that's going? And number three, they are an IP play. So these are three things that are playing in the founder's advantage. Although he is not an influencer by any means, he does not have the audience of tens of thousands of followers. What he does have is a strong, loyal community base that knows him, a couple hundred people. And now that he has marketing efficiency working in his favor, they are on track to having an incredibly successful launch. So this right here, ladies and gentlemen, is why it is a lot harder to build in Web3, because you're not selling the product, you're selling the ecosystem. You're selling the network, and how you have the ability to unstuck yourself by implementing the V.E.T framework, but by then using marketing efficiency in your favor. And don't be stubborn where it is that you're building. Don't prematurely launch your project just because you have to get it out there. The name of the game is patience. Patiently building your brand, patiently building your reputation, patiently building a cult-like and a tribe-like following of people that know what you do and are going to support you. And then patiently waiting for your narrative and potentially the chain that you're building on gains traction. And trust me, I swear to you, executing like you're launching tomorrow, but while also being able to wait for your launch to be indefinite, is how you have the ability to all of a sudden become an overnight success in Web3. I've seen this play out hundreds of times so far in the Web3 space through the hundreds of brands that we've had the chance to work with. So please get out there, get your message out, build your community, and deploy patience. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Leon Aboud, and if we're not connected on X already, make sure you follow me at Hey This Is Leon and send me a message letting me know you came from the YouTube channel. I'll see you in the very next video. Cheers.